Welcome to VLearn, Virtual Learning Network. This is session number 38 of the subject India Earliest Times to the 8th Century AD, and the chapter is Structure of Polity. Topics to be covered are Introduction, the King, Bureaucracy, the Army, Administrative Divisions, the Samanta, Taxation, Judicial System. Introduction. The period under study was dominated by the reigns of the Guptas and Pushyabhutis in the north, of the Vakatakas, Kadambas and Chalukyas of Badami in the Deccan, and of the Pallavas in southern Andhra and Tamil Nadu. There were of course a number of small kingdoms and chieftaincies in many parts of the country. The major sources for the study of the polity of this period are inscriptions, Dharmashastra literature, Harshcharita of Bana, and the accounts of Chinese travelers like Fa Hein, Hyun Tsang, etc. So the period under study that was dominated basically by the reigns of Guptas and Pushyabhutis in the north, and also of the Chalukyas of Badami and Kadambas. So small kingdoms and chieftaincies were there in many parts of the country, and the major sources for the study of the polity are inscriptions, Dharmashastra literature, and accounts of Chinese travelers. The king. Most of the country was ruled by kings. Only in a few fringe areas there lingered on the Ghana form of government. After the military expeditions of Samudragupta in North India early in the 4th century AD, most of these tribal republics almost disappeared from the political scene. Thus the Madra and Yodhya in the Punjab, the Abhira in central India, etc. are not heard of again. Some of the tribal chieftaincies also slowly became monarchies. So some of the tribal chieftaincies, some of the small kingdoms, they also became monarchies, and it was mostly converted into the monarchy because the king was considered permanent at that time. The most of the country was ruled by the kings, and only in the few fringe areas there was Ghana form. There were no kings who ruled the country. After the military expeditions of Samudragupta in northern India, there was basically tribal republics, and they also disappeared from the political scene. The king took pompous titles like Parna Maheshwara, Rajadhiraja, Parma Bhattarka, etc., which indicate their superiority over many small rulers. So the king also took very pompous titles like these, which showed his superiority. Bureaucracy. As compared to the Mauryan period, there is no clear evidence for the existence of a central Mantri Parishad or council of ministers to advise the king. So as compared to the Mauryan period, there is no clear evidence of any council of ministers to give advice to the king. There were, however, many high officials who were at times called mantrin. The other designations for higher officials were Sandh Vigharika, who was the minister for foreign affairs, war and peace, Mahabaladhikrita and Mahadandnayaka, both of which denoted superior posts in the army. So there were, however, many high officials who were also called the mantrin, and the other designations of the officials were described for foreign affairs, the minister for foreign affairs, the minister for war and peace, and also both of which also denoted superior posts in the army. The officials seem to have been paid in cash in the beginning of our period, and later they were just assigned revenues of some designated territories, and they were therefore called Bhogika or Bhogapati. So the officials, they seem to have been paid in cash in the beginning, but after that they were assigned revenues of some designated territories, and they were therefore called Bhogika or Bhogpati. The army, both for maintaining internal peace and for defending against external aggression, a standing army became a regular feature during this period. So army was needed for maintaining internal peace as well as for maintaining external peace. For defending against external aggression also, a standing army was required at that time. It was noted above that there were a number of high military officials, and they were obviously in charge of this army. Cavalry was an important element of this army. So there were a number of high military officials, and they were in charge of this army, and the cavalry formed an important part. Some maritime states like the Pallavas in the south also had navy. Chariots do not figure prominently during this time. The royal army was supplemented by the militia of feudatory chiefs. Administrative divisions. The country was organized into many divisions for administrative purposes. The highest unit among these territorial divisions was called Bhukti, which was under the charge of a high official called Uparika. So the country was organized into many divisions. It was for administrative purposes, and the highest unit of these divisions was called Bhukti, which was under the charge of a high official. Sometimes princes were also in charge of some bhukti. Vishaya was the next administrative division below, which was the lowest unit, that is the village. So in certain areas, Vishaya was also known as Rashtra. In eastern India, the Vishayas were also divided into Vidhis over and above the village. So in certain areas, Vishaya was also known as Rashtra, and in eastern India, the Vishayas were also divided into Vidhis over and above the village. At the level of Vishaya, the officials called Vishayapatis played a leading role in the administration. So at the level of Vishaya, the officials who were called Vishayapatis, they also played a leading role, a very important role in the administration. The Samanta. Semi-independent local chiefs called Samanta were an important feature of the polity of this time. We have already read that Samudragupta conquered and subjugated a number of territories. Some of the rulers of these territories, which were on the fringes of the Gupta Empire, were made subordinate allies of the king. They became feudatories, so to say, of the Gupta king, paying periodical tribute to the latter. Some of them also presented him their daughters in marriage. Taxation. The government got most of its revenue through taxation. So most of the revenue collecting the method was taxation only, to levy the taxes. Land taxes called Baga, Bhoga, etc. were the main items, and the land taxes actually increased through the centuries. As trade and commerce seem to have declined during this period, commercial taxes are not found prominently. The local people were also obliged to provide for the stay and food of villages. So as the trade and commerce activities, they were not growing, they declined during that time. The commercial taxes were not found prominently, and the local people, they were only obliged for the stay and food of the villages and for the whole food part as well. It may be noted here that as far as the lands granted to officials and priests are concerned, the governments lost much of its revenue from those lands. So the government also lost much of its revenue from those lands as far as the lands granted to officials and priests. Judicial system. Judicial system was more developed now compared to earlier times. Many law codes and treatises were compiled during this period, and the Dharmashastras elaborately dealt with legal matters. So there was a proper system of legal matters, judicial system. Many law codes and treatises were also compiled during this time. There were different codes like Karana, Adhikarana, Dharmasna, etc. Criminal and civil cases were clearly differentiated from each other. So the criminal cases as well as civil cases were clearly differentiated. Laws regarding property and inheritance were elaborate. So laws regarding the property and the inheritance of the property, they were also elaborate. Of course, justice was based on the Varna classification in society. For the same kind of crime, culprits belonging to a higher Varna or caste got less punishment than those belonging to a lower Varna. So the same kind of crime was there, but the culprits belonging to a higher Varna, they got less punishment than those of the lower Varna. So that was all about the caste system as well as the order of the society. These are some of the questions. You have to do it yourself. Question number 1. Discuss the main differences between the Mauryan polity and the polity during 300 AD to 700 AD. Question number 2. Write in about 5 lines the role of Samantas in the polity. That's all. Thank you. Happy learning. We learning.